So UFC Fight Night Murphy versus Barboza just ended, and I'll be breaking down all the fights on the card, rating them, and telling you which fights to rewatch. So the early prelim opener was Vanessa Demopoulos versus Emily Ducote. Great fight. Uh, Out of the gate, I give it 8 out of 10. I recommend rewatching it. Great scrap. Packed with action, which is surprising for MMA, women MMA. And the striking looked kind of clean from both sides. Ducote was the better striker. She had a lot more counters, but Demopoulos succeeded in making it a little bit more dirty. And I think Ducote could have won if she used that 1 minute of top position to land any sort of ground pound. She just laid there the last minute of the third round. So yeah, 29-28 split decision for Demopoulos. Really good fight though. I recommend rewatching it. Post-fight interview, microphone skills, I give her a 7 out of 10. She did her signature jump in the arms of the interviewer, and Paul Felder was like, I was waiting for this. So that's a legendary moment right there. Moving on, next fight. So next fight was Aleton Gainley versus Clayson Rodriguez. And I'm sorry for that butchering the name of the first fighter. So yeah, Aleton Gainley outclassed Clayson Rodriguez through 3 rounds. He won a unanimous decision. He was clearly the superior wrestler. Whenever he got the top position, he just held Clayton till the end of that round. In the stand-up, Clayton had some cool spinning stuff, but he even got some good knees. But he didn't seem to have as much power as advertised. It was a boring fight at the end of the day. I don't recommend watching it. I give it 4 out of 10. Moving on, next fight in the women's strawweight division, Ariane Carnelossi versus Pierre Rodriguez from Venezuela. So, man, I can't believe what I saw. So Pierre Rodriguez was clearly dominating the fight. In the second round, she dropped Carnelossi with a great front kick. She was on her way to TKOing her. Or, no, she was really on her way to TKOing her when she decided to land 2 intentional headbutts. They're very weak headbutts. But of course, the referee stops the fight. Carnelossi milks it to the max. She takes the full 5 minutes. And then she says she can't continue. So she wins. Carnelossi won that fight after she got a ass whooping by Pierre Rodriguez, who is the candidate for the dumbest fighter of the year, definitely. What the hell was that? Wow. Yeah. Candelossi won that fight, guys. Believe it or not. Of course, I don't recommend rewatching that shit show. I give the fight 0 out of 10. Moving on to the next fight. Abus Magomedov versus Warley Alves. So 2 things surprised me this fight. The fact that Abus's gas tank held up for 3 rounds. That's a very big surprise for me. And Warley Alves was really game. He was in many horrible positions and just refused to get finished. I mean, don't get me wrong, he got dominated the whole fight. He couldn't get any good offense going on, but he survived. Kudos to him, I guess. But yeah, Abus wins the unanimous decision. And all 3 judges gave him 30-26, which is a very fair score. Yeah, he doesn't get an octagon interview though for some reason. Maybe for time reasons, because many decisions this card. So yeah, next fight is Gatto versus Vidal. So the weirdness of this fight card continues. I mean, Gatto, it was one-way traffic for Gatto. She was dominating the fight. But in the third round, Gatto lands a boop strike, and Vidal just can't continue anymore. First ever TKO by boop strike. Yeah, this card is something, I'm telling you. The fight was kind of boring though. It was too one-sided. I give it like 4 out of 10, but good performance by Gatto. And honestly, horrible performance by Vidal. I don't know what she's doing at the UFC. So the next fight was Omar Sy versus Tuco Tucos. Omar Sy is coming with a lot of hype. He's a French light heavyweight prospect. Tuco Tucos, I think, took the fight in like 4 days' notice. It was a layup fight, and Omar Sy just dominated him to a rear naked finish in the first round. We didn't get to see much of his game, but he looked to be a very decent grappler. There's not much to say about the fight. I don't really recommend rewatching it. There's nothing to watch except the finish, a very standard rear naked choke. I'll give the fight like a 4 out of 10. It's okay for a debut, I guess. He got the finish in the first round. Octagon interview skills, all right, medium, like 4 out of 10. He didn't say anything like spectacular, didn't call anyone out, but he can also improve on that aspect. Next fight. So Nolan was controlling the fight versus Martinez. He looked to be a way better striker, the way bigger one, anyways. We have a bigger reach than Martinez. And then out of nowhere, Martinez drops him with a very good combo. He hit him to the body and then with a good right hook. He almost looked like he knocked him off balance, more like a really good knockdown. But yeah, Nolan was kind of getting throat checked in there, but after they got up, Martinez just rushed in. Because that's the level of fighters Martinez is. It was supposed to be a layup. Martinez rushed into a very big knee to the body from Nolan, which finished the job there by TKO on the round one. It's a good win for Nolan, but he showed that he has things to improve. He was in very big danger there for a minute, so yeah. I give the fight a 6 out of 10. It was good, short but good, the way we like them. Post-fight interview, it was alright, like 3 out of 10. He said nothing impressive. It looked like he wanted to call out someone, but the time was out though, so that sucks for him. But he has some things to work on, Nolan. Yeah, moving on, next fight. So next fight was Hill versus Pinheiro. Angela Hill got it done like I predicted, but she did it with a submission, with a guillotine in the second round. She won comfortably the first round though. She had a perfect guillotine as Pinheiro went for a takedown. The timing was perfect. Man, Poirier must be getting psyched with all those guillotines suddenly starting to work in MMA. Yeah, good performance by Hill. I'll give the fight a 5.5. You can out of 10. You can check it out if you want, but you don't really have to. Post-octagon interview, it was good. I'll give it 7 out of 10. She called out Jessica Andrade for a BMF belt. That's not a bad shout, honestly. Angela Hill could be a BMF. But yeah, next fight. Adrian Yanez versus Salvador was crazy fight. It ended in 1 round. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely recommend rewatching it. The boys were swinging heavy from the start. Salvador was even starting to showboat. Yanez was like trying to decapitate him with every punch, and he got him with an overhand left, I believe, and then finished with some ground and pound. Vicious strikes from Yanez. Salvador didn't get up for like 5 minutes after that fight. Amazing performance by Yanez. I think that will definitely help him grow his confidence back. Salvador got a little bit too much into that style of fighting hands down and showboating, and he immediately got punished for it. You don't do that versus Yanez, honestly. Yeah, would definitely recommend rewatching that fight. The post-fight interview, he gets 8 out of 10. It was heartfelt at the start, with a message to help Houston people suffering from a storm, I think he said. And he ended that on a pretty funny note. Yeah, moving on, next fight. So unfortunately, Gorimbo versus Brahimaj was the most boring fight ever. All the fight was just one big wrestling exchange, and Gorimbo just always ended up on top in a dominant position. I don't recall one strike thrown in that fight. It was just wrestling exchanges for fighting for position over and over again, and Gorimbo always won those. The fight gets 1 out of 10. I don't really recommend rewatching it. Even wrestling-wise, it was always boring because Gorimbo was always on top. Brahimaj, shocking performance. I thought he was a wrestler. So yeah. The post-fight interview, though, gets a 10 out of 10 from Temba Gorimbo. It was very emotional stuff. and he acknowledged that the fight was boring. But I recommend rewatching that post-fight interview. He said something like, "Death is coming to visit all of you." The whole message behind it is very strong. 10 out of 10 Octagon interview. Next fight. So the co-main event was Carlston Harris versus Chaos Williams. Um, I don't know what the game plan was for Carlston Harris, because if it was to stand in the pocket and exchange again and again and again with Chaos Williams, then he kind of deserved to get knocked out like that. Yeah, Chaos Williams get a first round knockout with a beautiful overhand, right overhand. I mean, it is his strong place, exchange in the pocket like that, and Carlston Harris just mindlessly started doing it with him. I don't know why he doesn't shoot for any takedowns for that long. Yeah, but terrifying knockout power by Chaos Williams. I definitely recommend rewatching the fight. It was a short fight. I give the finish like a 9 out of 10. I really liked it, especially the way he set it up with the jab to the body. And yeah, I don't know what Carlston Harris was doing. He was clearly at such a disadvantage in that range. He would leave his his arms down. He after every punch he threw, and yeah, there was no resistance to that overhand right. Hit him flush in the face, knocked him out. The post-fight interview was kind of cool too by Chaos Williams, but I give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It would have been way better if he called out someone after, but people just keep saying, "I'll fight whoever they give to me." When you call out someone, you get people talking more and more about it tomorrow. So I wish fighters stop with that bullshit and start calling out people more. Anyways, so the next fight, the main event, Edson Barboza versus Leron Murphy. The first two rounds were definitely for Murphy. Barboza was having success with the leg kicks, but Murphy's boxing was way better than Barboza's, and especially in the second round, Murphy really had Barboza wobbled all over the place. I think he could have went for the finish, but he decided to play slow, and Barboza survived the second round. But first two rounds for Murphy definitely, in a very entertaining fight so far. In the third round, Murphy kept lighting up Barboza on the feet, which is really crazy things to say, but that is what happened. Barboza had no answer in the stand-up, and Murphy started implementing some takedowns as well, which was debatable choice because he was winning comfortably on the feet. And I thought those takedowns maybe have taken a little bit of gas from him. But yeah, Murphy also won easily the third round. So in the fourth round, Murphy was jabbing Barbosa's head off. He definitely won that round as well. But Barbosa was starting to come back a little bit towards the end of that round. He was landing some really nice kicks to the body and even to the head. But yeah, heading to the fifth, Murphy won all rounds, definitely. So the fifth round was just more of the same. Murphy definitely won all 5 rounds. Credit to Barbosa for not getting finished. Two things to get out of this fight, which I rate 7 out of 10, by the way. Murphy looked the best he's ever looked, in my opinion. What a dismantlement of a legend like Barbosa. And Barbosa was not slowing down as much in his last fights, you know. It was mostly the same guy, the same speed, the same techniques. So this Murphy win is really legit. But yeah, I did not enjoy seeing Barbosa get destroyed for 5 rounds. I even kind of wished it would have been ended sooner with a TKO. I do hope Barbosa retires after this. It kind of hurt to watch. But Murphy definitely put his name on the map there. For the post-fight interview, the Octagon interview was good. I'll give it like 6.5 out of 10. But great fight tonight, honestly, in my opinion. I told you which fights to rewatch if you didn't watch, and please subscribe for more MMA content. See you on the next video, guys.